Good day to all our listeners, especially our friends in retail and allied industries. This is CJ Asena again of the Shangri-La Plaza, and welcome to the newest season of Let's Talk Retail from the Philippine Retailers Association. This is our 5th season. We thank you very much for your support, and we hope to be able to give you this year a series of insightful and aha moments podcasts. 39. This will be our 39th. Imagine, that's our 39th. We started during the pandemic and here we are in 2024. We aim to enlighten, to inspire, to motivate, and contribute to even a small way to your business. And so sit back, relax, and join us for today's guests. In this episode, we shine a spotlight on powerful women in retail, especially the beauty industry. We can learn a lot of things because Tatler said, wellness is the new luxury and beauty is part of that, part of wellness, feeling good about oneself. So allow me to introduce our esteemed guest, a distinguished CEO and advocate for beauty and wellness. She has been a pioneering force in the Philippines dermo-cosmetic and medical aesthetics industry for over 2 decades. Wow. With visionary leadership and a fervent commitment to empowering women, she stands as a trailblazer in the realms of beauty and wellness. Serving as a driving force behind DMark Beauty, she has adeptly steered the distribution of globally renowned skincare products and medical devices. Her efforts bridge the gap between consumers and professionals, offering access to safe, ethical, and scientifically proven products. Inspired by the influential female figures in her family, she founded DMark Beauty in 1998 with a mission of helping Filipina feel beautiful, confident, and empowered. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Nikki Tang. Nikki, good day.
Hello, CJ.
Hello.
I'm very happy to be here and
Thank
happy 2024 to you and to everyone, to our listeners.
Thank you, and thank you for accepting our invitation. You are, as they would say, our buena mano, and I think we're off to a good start. All right,
I'm honored.
we read a lot of articles about you, and I'm very fascinated about your journey. From school, you took up engineering, right?
Yes, correct.
And then, did you ever go and work in a corporate setting?
Yes, but that was during my OJT. So I
Right.
graduated BS Manufacturing, Engineering and Management from De La Salle University in
Right.
Taft. And I took up the Manufacturing Engineering Management course. They offer 1-year OJT. So that gave me the opportunity to have 1 year of exposure in this very huge cosmetic company. At the time, it's called Avon.
Oh,
And
yes.
so I went to Avon Libis, the headquarters, the manufacturing plant.
So you were just in manufacturing. You didn't go around like sales, distribution, marketing.
Right. So within the 12-month period, I was given the chance to move around quality control, inventory planning, a bit of management, and then a bit of organizational structure. For the sales and marketing, there was also very minimal exposure, but it's more of understanding the overall process of the brand, of the company.
But you did not continue that corporate path. You only went there for 1 year?
Yes, it was a 1 year as part of the requirement for the degree for the program. And after I graduated, actually, even before I graduated, I've been helping out in the family business. And so after I graduated, I went straight to help in the family business.
Okay, interesting. I think your family business hardware?
Yes, hardware is one of our businesses of the family. My dad runs a hardware in downtown in Manila,
Right.
but we're also involved in other retail fashion brands where
Right.
my mother is also running that business. So there are a few businesses.
So that's where you learn your entrepreneurship.
For sure. I literally grew up surrounded by family of entrepreneurial spirit, both from my mom's side and my father's side. We were really trained to instill the values of hard work, determination, and persistency. So day in, day out, when there's holiday from school, which is
Right.
Thursdays in my case, because I graduated from St. Jude Catholic
Oh,
School.
yes, that's right.
Thursday's a novena day. Saturday, we go to school. First thing in the morning, I would go to the store to help out, open the store, do the little cash as a cashier to entertain customers. Yes. So I already have an early exposure of how a business would run.
Okay, what did you learn from that phase? You're being, in a business environment. What were the key lessons for you?
There are a lot of lessons I've learned because I've done this actually not just for 1 year of my life, but throughout until I finish high school. Among them, the importance of being humble meaning you have to be very patient. You have to really not give up because hard work will always lead you to success. You have to always also be open to new learnings because when you interact with customers, when you deal with challenges, then you will be able to solve problems. There will always be situations that would make you be off guard. But if you understand what you're doing and you're very focused on the importance of the job, the significance of why you are doing that role for a bigger purpose, like for example, to serve the customer or to really provide good products to the market, then that will that is also another stepping stone to success. And of course, because I was young then, I took advantage each time my parents would mentor me. So I think it's very important to be kind and humble, again, as I mentioned earlier, because being kind and humble gives you more opportunity to grow.
All right. Now, you had family businesses. You could have stayed there, but you took a different path. You went to beauty, which is not related to any of your businesses. Why is that so? Why beauty?
Well, my mom and my grandmother,
Oh,
they're
your
really
inspirations.
very elegant ladies, women, and actually, even my aunts, everyone, and they really value, even back then in the 70s, in the 80s, the importance of self-care, and they always make sure they look good. And so my mom travels a lot, and she's always updated with the latest trends in how to make herself look good, in anti-aging and everything. And she saw this one breakthrough product. It's from the US. And I think it's perfect timing. I just finished from my university, and she gave me the challenge to look into it and bring it to the Philippine market because it's very innovative. It's a breakthrough product. It's a very scientific based product as well for the skin, for anti-aging. And even though I did not have a business course, but I always love to be in the world of business.
Right.
And of course, it is at that time that I really appreciate until today everything I learned from my engineering background because it allows me to develop a very analytical mind, a mind that could help process and see the whole situation and overcome challenges. So even though it's not really related to our existing businesses, and we saw the opportunity in the beauty business, in the skincare business, we took on that challenge and I developed the business plan, and the rest is history.
That's right. But let me ask you, you did not take a business course, you had an engineering course. Was that a disadvantage for you? Because there are some people who might be in that same situation that they're in a different course, but they really want to be entrepreneurs. Your
Um,
comments.
yeah, I wouldn't say it's a disadvantage, but for sure, even though I did not take that, I've been reading a lot of books. I've been taking short courses and some certificate programs to continually be educated, be knowledgeable. And I've really attended a lot of workshops and sessions because this only not allows you to understand better what are the fundamentals of growing a business, but as well as in growing an organization. So business is not just about sales and marketing. Organization, human development is also part of it, and accounting, finance. So yes, and until today, that's why I love to read books. And if there are online courses, I would also keep myself updated.
I noticed that in your podcast, you were quoting a lot. So continuous learning is important for you.
Yes, for sure.
All right. Now, um, Do you try all? I saw your website. There's a lot of products and equipment. Do you try all of them?
As much as yes, I do, because of course I cannot say everything because it
Yes,
really
but
depends on my skin type.
right.
So, but for sure, before we bring on the products here, I must be confident of why we bring them here, not only of myself, but I also check with our customers because their feedback is even far more important than my own feedback. And fortunately, we deal with doctors, so it's a B2B market, and
Right.
doctors' inputs and insights are very important because we adhere to the philosophy of not only effective but also safe long term for their patients, for the consumers. So it is also when you get to try your own products, both topical, like the skincare products, and machines, the procedures, you will be able to communicate better why the product, I mean, the technology behind the products, and how does it really work, how does it feel, and most of all, the expectations.
How do you find your products and equipment? Are you always in the fairs? I mean, how do you search for it?
Yes, attending a lot of conferences definitely would help you be updated with what's out there, but also a strong network that you in the industry is very, very important. And through the years, we build credibility. So all these companies around the world would eventually also look into who are the partners to go to in the Philippine market. And that's very important to build your
Right.
portfolio. And so by
Right.
building your portfolio, that gives them an idea of your strength, your weaknesses, your distribution channels, your network, your partners, and as well as sales and marketing activities that you conduct. So that somehow defines the potential of the business based on the strategies, based on your success stories.
That's right.
So yeah, and of course, a lot of recommendations and referrals, both from the customers and within the community.
That seems a lot of ears to the ground, listening and networking. Okay, it's 2024. We all survived the pandemic, 2020 to 2022. Can you name me your three top lessons from the pandemic? Doing business
Um,
pandemic. Three,
okay.
just three, top of mind.
Right. When pandemic happened, it was really a big shock and a change in all of us, and especially also, I'm not spared from that one. But I rediscovered myself in a lot of layers, and one of them is while because we are so used to live a very busy lifestyle, and that is one big adjustment that I have to go through from being very busy, and how can I still find fulfillment when I became not so busy anymore, because that used to define me. Um, so one of the lessons I've learned is it's always the quality of work which is more important than the amount of work that you take on, which sometimes can lead us to being stressed in life. So having said that, the the value of work, not only about work life balance, but work life integration, because
Like,
once
okay,
you wake up, and especially when you're an entrepreneur, your
yeah,
work does not start at 8 o'clock. It starts even at 6 a.m. and your work does not finish at 11 p.m. And maybe it doesn't mean also your work is only from 8 to 5 and you don't have personal chores and other responsibilities within the day. Because as a mother, you also have to suddenly go to school, meet the teacher in between, and other more. So it's really more of an integration. And when you're able to integrate, that means you also learn how to manage time, balance, and everything. So that's one, work-life integration. And I think integrating these two, it's a constant evolution. Okay, there's no perfect formula. You have to listen to yourself, because at the end of the day, it is also important to have a good mental health, state of mental healthness. So that is also one thing I've learned. So um, giving time to love yourself, because if when you do that, then that's the only time you become more positive, you exude positive energy to others, and somehow that really makes a lot of difference when you influence your family, your friends, and your peer-to-peer. Another thing that I realized and learned during pandemic is the importance of keeping your spiritual growth. Because when you keep your spiritual growth, and there's so many chaos and very dynamic challenges happening right now globally, I think that keeps you grounded, and that even though when we feel the lowest moment in our lives, that allows us to move forward again, rise up and move forward again. So I think it's basically all about nourishing and growing within myself so that I could offer more of myself to others. And last but not the least, acquiring digital skills is also very important. And especially, I think right now that's a basic essential, but especially in our line of business, that's also getting more big part of our business strategy. So being educated online on how to conduct business online or how to communicate yourself, your marketing, your products online is also very important to your business strategy.
Okay, we're gonna go back that digital because I see, and I've on the other podcasts I've done, is that a lot of self-awareness, a lot of digital, learning new things. So we're gonna go back to that. Now, I'd like to get your thoughts on the following. Number one, multi-generational dynamics. You are a Gen Xer or a millennial,
Yes, correct.
or a Gen Xer with millennial, Gen Xer biologically, millennial mentally.
Mentally.
But you have millennials and Gen Z already in your group, right?
We do have, but honestly, my team, with God's grace, they have been with me for on the average 15 to 18 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think most of my team are actually not the super young, the ones of
Gen
uh,
Xers.
Gen Xers pa rin. And so
Yeah.
that's why their work values are still they have very strong resilience, they understand the importance of they don't easily give up.
Now, what about competition in the beauty industry? I asked the question because Vogue in May 2023 said, Vogue Philippines said that you are one of the 6 women who are disrupting the Philippine cosmetics industry. Very interesting article. So what are your thoughts of competition in beauty in the arena of beauty?
Competition is tough, but it's always a welcome environment because because it allows you to understand the pulse of the market. It allows you to also reinvent yourself, not only personally but the business. It reinvents the strategies of the business, the platform, and it most of all, the way I see it, it helps grow the market. So competition is something that it's more inspiring than not. At least that's the way I see it.
Inspiring. That's a very nice way of looking at it. Inspiring. Let's take note of that. Inspiring. Okay.
It's inspiring because it should not give you the fear, but it should motivate you to how can you even offer a better product out there and make yourself even a better entrepreneur.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Let's do this. Friend or foe? Friend of friend or foe, and why? Technology. Friend or foe?
Okay, the technology. Okay, a
Friend or
friend,
foe? Friend.
friend.
Why?
Especially in my business, because I'm in the business of medical science, providing health and beauty. Technology should always really be constantly improve, innovate, and it should also help make the patient's lives better. And in this case, though we are in the beauty slash aesthetics business, so you don't have to really go through a lot of difficult or painful process in order to achieve a youthful look or preserve your youthful look. So technology is all about discovering new things and applying that science into helping making people's lives better. So we should also leverage on the technology because it gives you that edge and differentiates you in the market.
Okay. Friend or foe? AI or artificial intelligence? A hot topic now. friend or foe? Is AI a friend or a foe?
I believe AI is a friend,
Right?
as far as you know how to work around it,
Right.
as far as you know when you need it and when you don't really need it. But when it's a friend, it will really help you make things get done, and it will also help you be more productive in a lot of ways, actually. But it will always be a friend in a way that we should not be dependent on it.
Okay. Last friend or foe question. Lazada, Shopee, Zalora, Shein, and all similar digital selling platforms. Are they friends or are they foes?
It's a very tricky question, and for me to respond to this one, because it's a friend, it allows consumers an access, and it also helps create awareness of the products of the brands. So that, I think that's very important, especially in this age of digitalization. And I think we can't get away from that. It can be a foe when the price is already being compromised, because it affects a lot of products, especially when these are products not because they're premium, but they're of quality and value, and it confuses the customer. So that's also not very helpful for in the long-term business. So I think it really depends on the business model that you are in.
Okay. Do your customers, do they your final consumers, do they research on beauty products? How do they behave?
Yes, you believe it or not, consumers, even more than 10 years ago, almost 20 years ago, they start to be very educated. They do a lot of research, and they do a lot of asking. And even when they get to visit the doctors, they still ask a lot of questions, and they know what they want.
So the
And
important
so
thing is
we are
information.
here. Actually, the role of DMark Beauty is more of we provide solutions to the market, and there's so many options in the market. But our main role is to really gather the best technology, the best products, collaborate with our partners who are the doctors and retail chains, and with them, because we want to improve the lives of the Filipinos by providing quality skincare research with backup science. So consumers really understand. You can only influence them as much, but they also know what they really want. And they always, and I think we should continue to educate consumers. Not only it's because it's the cheaper deal, but it's always value for money.
All right. Now, next set of questions will be advice, asking for advice. What is your advice to students making career decisions?
Okay, few things. You have to always constantly want to learn. If you stop wanting to learn, the thirst for and the hunger for knowledge, then the world will also stop. The opportunity for you will also stop. And you will see that there's no purpose, there's no meaning, and you won't be motivated. Okay. Try to also surround yourself with mentors, with people who can inspire you, who can guide you, and not only always because they say you're great, but also who can really correct you, the people who really care because they know your strength and weaknesses. Um, in the process, continue to reinvent yourself, because who are you today, you have to also be adapt and agile to adjust yourself. Who are you potentially you can be tomorrow, depending on the situation, on the opportunities you have. um Try to also be grateful, because every every step of the way that towards your success, you meet people there, and always make sure that once you grow bigger than who you are today, you always remember them, and also always make sure that they have helped you along the way. Um, the question is more for students,
Correct.
right?
Seems to
Yeah,
be also applicable to my next stakeholder, the entrepreneurs who are starting out.
yeah. Every day for entrepreneurs, there will always be challenges. I deal with them, small and big. But if you focus and you know what you want, and it's easy to say not to give up, but that's still the formula. never always to give up, because you are an entrepreneur from day one that you decided to be one. So when you decided to be an entrepreneur from day one, it means you want to make something, you want to make a difference, okay? Be it through service, be it through products. And it's not all about money. I think if you put more meaning to your business and it affects the bigger community, the business will organically grow as well. It's also very important to understand and appreciate the value of collaboration, especially in this world today. Collaboration is very powerful, or can be very powerful, but with the right network, with the right people, with the right organization. It's also important to know timing. I believe business is not just about providing good products or services, but also doing things with the right timing, because the market may be mature, the market may not still be ready, and you have a good product, and it may not also succeed or accelerate. It's also important to be able to develop a good team, because as an entrepreneur, it's not just about yourself.
Right.
It's all about a teamwork. And you may be a good visionary, but you also need a good team to execute your vision. You need a good collaborators or partners to enable your business to the next level. So
Who are your biggest influence in your business life, and who are your mentors? Let's take a few seconds for that.
I would always recognize my parents, even my grandmother. They are really my close mentors that I look up to every day, because in business, we learn business in books, in schools, the fundamentals. That's out there. Okay. There are a lot of new studies about how to grow the business, and it's so vast. But I think ultimately, what's also important, how do you survive the day-to-day challenges? And I think those are the practical things that not only you learn it on your own, but my family members, my parents and my grandmother, with their years of experience in life, because business is always connected to life, um, are very invaluable lessons that I've always carried through myself. And again, as I mentioned earlier, it's all about hard work. It's all about keeping faith, and it's all about making sure that you have a good relationship with people around you, uh, because it's the people that would really help you.
We have two more groups that will seek your advice. Second or third generation retail family members. Do you think they should jump into the business at once, or do you think they should work outside first, then go back to the family business?
The more experience you have in life will always be an advantage. So if there's a good opportunity outside,
right,
why not grab it? Okay. And going back to your earlier question, as an entrepreneur, as a tip, always look out for opportunities, and opportunities may come in disguise or may come in a very obvious manner. So back to this question, I think it's very important that one keeps an open heart, an open mind. When there's an opportunity to learn outside, uh, you can you can take that opportunity and bring it back to the business. Or if there's also a need within the organization, I think it's also helpful that you can start on with the existing business, especially if there are people there, the mentors also that could help you grow. Then I don't think there's anything wrong about that.
All right. My last one for people who ask for advice: single parents. You said you're a single parent. What is your advice to single parents pursuing a career in the corporate world or pursuing an entrepreneurship path? Is it easy? Is it hard?
It's never easy. I don't think it is easy.
Agree. All right.
Yeah. But I think being easy or less easy or harder is all about, it's very subjective as well.
All
It's
right.
how you see it.
How did you manage?
Well, in my personal journey, thankfully, I have my parents. When I started, when I was a single mom early on in my life, and somehow I have my parents rather to help me somehow look into helping me grow my two sons in the right path. I also ensure that I sent them to the right school where I believe that could help build the foundation, the values of my sons as they grow up. And because this is like the next 13 years of their lives, that they will be there most of the days in most of the hours of the day, right? And not beside me. So it's a partnership. I make sure that I get to have a open communication with the teachers, with the principal, so that it's easy to address if there are any concerns. um Again, I go back to keeping faith. It's never easy. You cry at night for sure. You wake up like you don't know where to start again. But one thing you know, after 5 years, after 10 years, you've made it. And it's good that you are able, and I think personally, this is also one of my personal accomplishment, that I'm able to continue to do my work, my business, but at the same time, see my sons grow the kind of men of character that I hope them to be.
So you're achieving that coveted life-work balance.
I'm trying my best.
Well, thank you for your candid answers on that one. All right, last 10 minutes, wind down questions. And we're going to try a new one. It's called Life Stories. Life Stories is random numbers, random questions based on a roulette. Okay, so we're going to choose a number. 72. Let's see what 72 is. 72 is in the area of from the quarantine. All right.
Oh, okay.
Let's try. 72 is there. Where did you find hope during this pandemic? During the pandemic. Where did you find hope during the pandemic? I had to rephrase the question. Where did you find hope during the pandemic?
For me, honestly, I felt the sense of hope when I was watching some few films on Netflix.
Okay, that's good.
All right. There were a couple of series on about warriors. And I think inertly inside me, I have that spirit. I have a warrior spirit. And so I really enjoy that kind of those kinds of films. And when I get to watch them, and then thankfully it's a series, because these films, it's not just about entertainment, that wow, they're hero, they fight like that, but it's really more of, in the absence of technology during those times, warrior means way back, they're not militaries, okay? So it means it's a lot of their grit, their spirit, the inner strength when they fight in the battle to survive, and then that they go through.
Yeah, you're talking gladiators, right? Gladiators and all
Gladiators is way back, even before pandemic, but what I was referring to that really gave me a lot of sense of hope.
Yes.
Vikings and the Last Kingdom. And I also can relate myself with the different characters. Sometimes I see myself as this warrior, or the king, the queen, or just the ordinary character there, because I think, going back to this earlier question mo, no, one of the challenges as an entrepreneur is to make good decisions, and it's not easy to make good decisions. And so I drive a lot of wisdom and hope by watching these kind of films. Not even like the warriors, even the newer genres, okay?
Yeah.
When, as a leader, how do you deal with a situation that there will always be a compromise in any decision. And there's no right or wrong decision. It's just a choice. It's a decision, right? So, but I think understanding why do you have to make a certain decision and how to move forward, what may affecting others, it's very important, because at the end of the day, we're just human. We get weak. We become weak. At the same time, we become confused. But when we understand our bigger purpose as a leader, then you become more relevant, and I think you're able to make people listen to you, believe you,
credible.
and lead them. Yeah,
more credible.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. You found hope during the pandemic watching warrior themed movies. because it talks about leadership and strength.
Not only that, I also enjoyed watching Formula One. There was a time that they released a series of the Formula One. Again, I'm not into cars. I don't understand the drivers. I don't know who they were at the before.
Right.
But after, and I thought it's just all about glamour. It's all about just racing and papogi, pa-cute like that. But it's not. It's a game. It's a very expensive sport. But it's not about that. What I appreciated from watching Formula One is what it takes to be successful. And there's a lot of trainings, preparations, a lot of not giving up as well, a lot of understanding that, of course, it's an advantage if you are driving for a big brand because you are supported with
the resources are there.
The resources are there. But it doesn't mean you are the smaller, you drive for a smaller brand or a less known brand, you won't have a chance to be a winner, to be a champion. So what I really see in Formula One sports is it's teamwork. It's really teamwork.
Go back to teamwork again.
It's really teamwork. I mean, maybe the driver is the famous one, okay, the race driver, or maybe the manager, but more than that, it's an orchestrated effort. And you're not, and I think it's very important that when you do something in life, it's not about yourself. It's not all about you, but you should look at it as collective efforts. And when you win that glory, it becomes more
for everyone. It's a shared success.
Yeah, yes. I think right now it's very important that we share our success.
Okay, let's do another number. Okay, here we go. Nice. Number 10. I think that is about 10 is about, I knew it, self. What is your happiest memory as a kid? What is your happiest memory as a kid?
I'm always happy when I get to travel. When I was a kid, although now I travel because of business and work, but when I was a kid, and especially, and traveling that time is really more exotic. It's really like like real travel. Like my dad would drive to the beach, and when you go to the beach resorts, it's not yet the 5-star hotels, you know, it's really very rustic. I really enjoy those moments. And when you get to eat the seafoods, we eat by using the banana leaves. So I think those are really cherished moments that you may still see that today, but it's not that it's not the norm today
it's not
anymore.
Cowboy enough.
Yeah. Christmas time. When I was a kid, we were always planning to go to the province to spend our Christmas. And this is in Camarines Norte.
Oh, okay.
That far.
Yes.
So it's like at least 10 hours of drive on the road along the zigzag highway. And then we will do the very traditional Christmas time of Noche Buena, Simbang Gabi, and dress really nicely and gather and opening gifts, you know, the usual Filipino tradition. So it's unfortunate that kids right now, or my son, I could not make them experience what I experienced, but they have been really something that close to my heart, and I really keep them in my heart. Christmas times.
Although I saw your post on your New Year in Hong Kong, so that's that was a nice bonding experience.
That's a very nice bonding. It's a new way of celebrating Christmas time and New Year.
Last 3 questions. Okay. First one is about sleeping or staying awake?
Well, honestly, what keeps me awake at night can be 2 things. Either I'm so excited for the next day, or there's a big project that I'm working on. So almost every night it keeps me awake.
Right.
Sometimes when I'm really so tired and exhausted and stressed, it can also give me a hard time to fall asleep. Or maybe when I have unfinished tasks, that also gives me difficult time to fall asleep. So yeah, 2 things that keeps me awake at night.
Good answer. Okay, so you managed to fall asleep, and Nescafe had this interesting campaign called Para kanino ka bumabangon? So I asked the question, para kanino ka bumabangon? Who do you wake up for?
I mean, obviously, you wake up for, in my case, most especially for my two sons, because I'm really a mother. But in the bigger sense of everything, I wake up for the business that I'm into, because as a beautypreneur, I have to constantly make sure that I have something new to offer to them. So I have to ensure that my employees, my customers, my partners abroad, the commitments that we have offered to them will be fulfilled. So it's not just about who, but also what do I wake up for? And I would want to make sure that we deliver the results that we committed and agreed together.
Oh, on that note, if you were not a beautypreneur, what would you be? Or what would you have been if you were not a beautypreneur? Did you have a secret dream? Like being a flight stewardess or a pilot?
Believe it or not, I've always been very interested with aviation. So
Okay.
yes, I would have, not as a flight attendant, but I would have wanted to fly a plane. I mean, even at least maybe one day I could fly a small private jet or not. Yes.
All right.
But that's always been a far-fetched imagination that I see myself into.
So if you were not a beautypreneur, you could have been a commercial pilot. Or
A commercial pilot or somebody that I could, fly the plane time to time. Yeah.
like a flight engineer
Yes.
or a licensed pilot.
Licensed pilot. Yes.
Correct. Okay. Last question. Since we are in a new year, you're our first episode. What is your outlook for 2024? Crystal ball question. What is your
Yes.
outlook for 2024?
I see 2024. Well, it can be very challenging because there's so
Right?
many things happening globally. There's so many crises. But I think it's very important that who we are and what we do, and especially in this case as entrepreneurs, we just have to always do the best when we can with what we do, and also come prepared. It's just very dynamic, but at the same time, being prepared, we also have to be dynamic and ready for changes. We also have to be very flexible.
In 2020, if 2023 was a good year for beauty, would 2024 be the same? Do you think it will be easier or harder?
In the beauty business, in the anti-aging, it will always be, I see it that the growth will continue, okay, because people are becoming really more concerned about themselves, not only on the physical aspect, even on the inner beauty. And it means a lot of opportunities for new market segments, and
Okay.
especially not only on the skincare, but also on the wellness. So my outlook here, beauty is not just about appearances, but it's also about health, because it becomes an essential as part of as we grow old. I'm also very excited because I can see that there are a lot more opportunities in terms of consumer consumptions, and at the same time, doctors and partners that they understand better because they're more educated. So the level of offerings of service offerings and products offerings to the consumers will also be more holistic. So overall, it's a good, and I see that the country, the Philippines, our economic situation is also progressing with the infrastructure and everything. So yeah, I see there's a lot of potential for growth
For 2024.
for 2024.
You talked about new markets. Are the men the new market?
Yes, for sure. The men, they, believe it or not, they're very conscious. They may not be very outspoken about it,
Correct,
but they
correct.
are.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, they are. And actually, slowly they are. They are expressing that what can be done, what can they do, but still nothing so painful, that it won't be so obvious, but they want, and they want to catch up with looking good.
That's right. All right, Nikki, thank you so much. We had a fun time. Thank you for your very candid answer. Thank you for honoring us with your presence in our Buena Mano for 2024, our first episode of our 5th season. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Nikki Tang, the CEO of DMark Beauty. Share with us your insights on business and on life. And we'll see you again. Catch us on YouTube. Let's Talk Retail. We are also on Spotify. So again, Nikki, thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. Have a good week ahead. Bye. CJ Sana here. Bye.